Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. So today we are playing Dane's full Tonk Deathrattle Hunter. The footage in this video was recorded just before the new mini set arrived, and as you've probably seen on Twitter and on other social media platforms, the wretched Tiller is causing absolute chaos on the wild mode ladder. This is a card that was deemed useless initially, and now suddenly is very, very powerful. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Wild Mode. I'm curious to see if things will settle down and go back to normal, or if Blizzard are going to step in and make some changes. But it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But for now, enjoy the footage in this video, as I say, recorded just before the mini set was released, and it features this interesting card, the Darkmoon Tonk, costing 7 mana, and the Deathrattle says, fire 4 missiles at random enemies that deals 2 damage each, and it's an 8/5 body. So of course, there are Deathrattle synergies and spells in this deck. You have the likes of Play Dead, which will trigger a friendly minion's Deathrattle. So immediately you can get that damage out of the Darkmoon Tonk if it's on the board. You also have Necromechanics, so your Deathrattles trigger twice, so we're increasing that damage now. You've got 9 lives, so discover a friendly Deathrattle minion that died this game, trigger its Deathrattle. So you trigger those missiles and you get a Tonk into your hand. So this deck can do some pretty big damage over 1 turn, and will certainly set up lethal at times over 2 turns, depending on the state of the board. So let's have a look at this deck in action on the wild mode ladder. Once I got the hang of it, I just started winning games with it. It was very, very entertaining. So, first game is against a warrior. Okay, so we've got the ability to draw mechs from our deck now, based on the Oblivitrons in our hand. So we can find the Darkmoon Tonks, get them into our hand. Now we're going up against Odd Warrior. So this will be a test for this deck. Can it get through all of the massive armor gain that they will get? And that's 4 armor on turn 2. It's pretty big. If we don't keep that armor gain under control, it'll get to a point where we just won't be able to kill them. So let's see if we can keep chipping away at that armor. Never huffer. Never ever huffer. But we've got an attack buff here. That's better than nothing. I think in this case, it's better than Misha, right? Because at least we've got 1 more bit of damage in. That's 1 less armour that they've got. And I love my opponent's name, Delete Priest. What a name. And to some extent, I agree. To some extent. So the question is, how much do you commit? How much do you commit to this board? To what degree do you play into Brawl? Hence why I did not play the Face Stalker. Keeping those in hand. Okay, board clear. Here we go. Oh, very creative. Bash your own Barov. And explosive is fine. Both Darkmoon Tonks in the hand, joined by very, very good friend of mine. I like cabbage. Oh! Oh wow! He did not want to face the Darkmoon Tonk. Okay, next game is a Mage. And my previous opponent did send me a friend request. I declined to accept. Although the advice that's, been given to me recently is that I should always accept a friend request. Worst case scenario, they're a troll and you can block them. Best case scenario, you make an actual new friend.
I'll show them all.
In fact, a few of my friends in-game are people that have watched me on YouTube and then faced me in-game and said, "Are you Darkseeker, the guy on YouTube?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And then suddenly you've made a new friend. Yes, maybe in future I should just accept the friend requests and see what happens. It's also interesting when people get really upset over a game that's happened and they send you the friend request just so they can insult you and berate you and troll you. What a sad way to live your life, right? If you're getting that upset over a computer game. Now, if you're playing Hearthstone for a living and you're a professional, and your income is dependent on the game, I could probably understand you being upset over certain things that happen in the game, and I can understand that to some degree. But for most people who just play the game for fun, for recreation, what is the point of getting so wound up by it?
Unity, precision, perfection, purity.
You could be passionate about something, you can be interested in something, but to get so upset that you're going to go out of your way to be so nasty to somebody else,
Excuse me.
it just seems really sad. But anyway, enough about that. So, Oblivitron. Or we'll play a 3-drop Into the Secret, of course. Well, that's pretty good. And yes, happy days indeed. So this deck is really the first time that I'm playing Oblivitron in a deck. This is my first exposure to that card. Okay, here we go.
Dead or alive.
And now we can trigger Play Dead, although it could be Counterspell. And it is. That's really annoying. Waste, a very good friend of mine, also joining us alongside I Like Cabbage. Maybe I should have played Oblivitron into the Explosive Runes on the earlier turn. Maybe that would have been fine too, if we had the Darkmoon Tonk in hand at the time, which I think we did.
You're coming with me.
Okay. So that's some good damage. I mean, when you play the Darkmoon Tonk, you sometimes have this expectation. Ooh, that's an interesting card. Remove the top 3 cards of the deck. Well, I'll have that. Oh gosh, Terran Gorefiend. Wow, well we had that card on the board earlier. When you play the Darkmoon Tonk, you have this expectation that the damage is going to go face. If it clears the board instead, that's not a bad thing either. So, no time for games. Do we play Terran here? I think we do. I think the value is just too good to pass up. Because I guess the danger is the Tonk would have been removed and then would have to play the other Tonk in order to get Terran value. At least here we've got the value from Terran. We got the missiles out.
Once was cloudy shall become clear.
Talking to Waste about birds. Referencing the various bird decks that I've been playing over the last few weeks. If you're interested in those, you can check those out on my channel. Bird Priest, Bird Shaman, shuffling all the birds into your opponent's deck. Okay. Freezing Trap here seems sensible. If he wants to return that to hand and draw more cards, he's free to. Waste commenting on the bird decks that I've been playing, saying that he loves it. Bird decks are really fun to play. Although if you're going to win with them competitively on the ladder, you have to find the right pocket with which to win in. And the Bird Shaman that I've been playing recently is courtesy of Boltzmann. An awesome deck creator, an awesome deck innovator. But look, we have just beaten a Secrets Mage. Now that is certainly an achievement. And I like Cabbage there saying, winner, winner, chicken dinner. One of his favourite phrases, certainly. And who doesn't love a good chicken dinner? Right, next game is against a priest. Phase Stalker seems reasonable here. We'll ditch both secrets. Okay. And there's a Mad Scientist, really good 2-drop as well. So we're looking pretty good here. I think we can coin something out. Coin out a 2-drop, play a 2-drop the following turn, I think is reasonable. Early pressure could be critical here. Okay. So if there is removal here, then at the very least, maybe the Face Stalker will survive on the following turn. We shall see. So bait out the removal on the Scientist. That's the plan. No removal, but it is a Shadow Visions, which is now making me think Big Priest. So another interesting test for this deck, having beaten a Secrets Mage. What about a Big Priest? These are decks that are popular on the Wild Mode ladder. So for an off-meta deck like this to come in and win, it's a big deal, certainly. If you are interested in learning more about how to play the deck, I would also suggest you check out Dane's YouTube channel. So there will be a video from Dane on him playing this deck and piloting it successfully. Probably more successfully than me, certainly. So, double Shadow Visions, not a Reno deck. Confirmed. So more than certainly Big Priest. And how do we win this game against Big Priest? We out-pressure them early on. We do all of our damage in the early turns. And then by the time that they summon their big threats, they're more or less dead. And we can finish them off. That's the only way that we win. Because if we can't do the damage early, and they start summoning threats, starting with Shadow Essence and then resurrecting the threats, we're never ever going to get a foothold on the board. And of course, the minions that they summon are going to be so large. The missiles from the Darkmoon Tonk aren't really going to be all that effective in terms of damaging face. I do love how the Mad Scientist shouts "fools" at the opponent when attacking. It's great. Freezing Trap, by the way, is very relevant. Necromechanical Sylvanas I'm going with the Sylvanas here because Play Dead and Sylvanas could become relevant later. In fact, that could help remove a big threat from the board, from let's say a Shadow Essence, allowing us to then continue to push face, if we can steal that threat. But I like my hand at this point. I like the 9 lives, I like the Sylvanas, and I like the Darkmoon Tonk alongside the Play Dead, looking pretty good. Wow, what an investment on that turn. Just to clear this board, what an investment. Oh, we got him! That's the Huffer, and do you know what? That 4 damage can make all the difference, potentially. That 4 damage pushed to the face, putting him at 12, could just be giving us the opportunity to seal out this game over the next couple of turns. Or maybe not. $7 cost? Oh god, that's a taunt. How annoying. Well, we could just wait for him to play into the freezing trap. There's no reason to play Wandering Monster there, or is there? No. He's played into the freezing trap, it's fine. Shadow Essence. And that's bad news. That is really bad news. That's even worse news for us. So, in response, we have no time for games. Sylvanas playing Sylvanas. Oh, okay. I was hoping for the taunt. And, wait a minute. No, actually, this is better. This is better. We've just got a copy of a Darkmoon Tonk. Wow. Okay. Well, I suspect with double 9 lives in hand, with a Tonk on board, I think this game is over. Oh, it really is over now.
Let none survive.
Although this route to victory is pretty fun. We actually steal both taunts. And I suspect this is more or less over. Was there any kind of lethal setup on that turn that I missed? I'm not sure. Okay. Let's do this in style. Oh, Tonk Commander. Very nice. And there we go. Very, very satisfying lethal. Stealing the Big Priest minions and ruining their day. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Dane's full Tonk Deathrattle Hunter. Beautiful deck. Honestly, once I got the hang of how to play it, those wins started to rack up, as you have seen in this video. And very satisfying wins with this off-meta deck. Thank you to Dane for the deck design, and thank you to various friends on Twitter that have pointed me in the direction of this deck and had encouraged me to play it. So, how would this deck fare in the current meta state after the mini set has been released with the Wretched Tiller wrecking havoc on the ladder? I'm going to assume that this is not a good deck to play. I mean, what is the counter to the Wretched Tiller? It's aggro, right? The counter is be ultra aggressive or disrupt their combo with Dirty Rats. If you're going with the ultra aggressive route, because I think that's more consistent, maybe a deck like this can do some work if you get the 2 drops down early into the Animal Companion for 3, into a curve is what I'm saying. Maybe you can push that aggression like we did against the Priest and then finish them off with your Deathrattle effects from the Darkmoon Tonk. Maybe. I guess it depends on what turn the Tiller combo can be pulled off. Is that combo being pulled off early, or is it being pulled off a bit later in the game? I guess it's a bit of a race then to kill them before they pull it off. Do remember, this is an off-meta deck, and so do not expect too much from this deck. You do need a fair amount of luck at times. You do need a bit of practice with this deck, and you do need to think about your timing in terms of when you pull off, your Darkmoon Tonk, Play Dead, Necro Mechanic, 9 lives, shenanigans. Timing can be everything. So please remember that. 8,160 dust though, it's not terribly expensive. Well, certainly compared to some of the decks I've played over the last couple of weeks, it's certainly not expensive. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stay safe out there, look after yourselves, and I will see you all again very soon, as always, for more Wild Mode fun.